You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This isn't a blood hole. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon.
Why aren't you laughing?
From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanonfilm.com, click on podcasts, and you'll find the Batman Podcast Network that has a whole list of other Bat-related shows. I'd also like to dive into other nerdy subjects that we all love to frolic about in our free time. And by all, I mean all of us, including Peter R. Verra. Batman Book Club is also on Patreon. If you want to help support the show, help keep those generators running in the Wayne Manor study, just go to patreon.com/thebatmanbc. A massive, massive thank you to the latest Patreon. Yes, we have a new one. Mark Magaha. Thank you for joining patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Thank you for chipping in and helping out with the show. Everything helps. Every little bit helps keep the show and this beast running. So thank you very much, Mark, for that.
Thanks,
now,
Mark.
Thank you for listening to episode 183, Batman in December. That's right. It's the end of the month. It's actually the end of a year, but it's not the end of a dynamic duo, because here on this podcast, I already mentioned his name once. He's a frolicker. He's an Italian. He is Peter R. Verra. Hi, Pete.
Right. One day we're gonna get this frolic shit straightened out. One day we're gonna. Me and Justin will get through to you.
No, you will finally accept your destiny, because we've all seen the evidence, Pete. You're a frolicker. You're a happy man when it comes to nerdy subjects. You love to frolic. It's okay, Pete. Join us. One of us. One of us.
No, I don't want to join you.
You do. Everybody there at Yankee Stadium, they know Peter R. Verra, the frolicker. So there's video evidence. Anyways, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Are you ready to cap off this year?
Yes, I'm ready
to. Okay.
I'm ready to cap it off, but unfortunately, in some aspects, I'm really not ready for what's coming.
Awesome. What a great situation. I was trying to think, so this is this is the third year that we've done the wrap up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think each year I end up thinking about hey, Pete, you and I can add a little bit of hey, what are some of our favorite issues that we read and talked about this year? And I always forget. And then it's we sit here to record and oh, yeah, I guess that could be a good idea, but
it would be if we remember to do it next week.
Yeah. I was going to say, when I start keeping track next week, I can start pulling of hey, some favorites, some not favorites maybe, or I don't know. We always keep it positive. I don't go to least favorite and stuff.
I forget what I read this month. And
okay. Well, this would be a great discussion.
Don't act like you don't either. To be honest with you.
That's why I've got it all right here to flip through real quick.
Yeah. I have the stack, but I should probably take notes at some point, but I'm not doing that.
I swear I did last month. I did. I took physical notes and wrote down.
Really?
It did not help me one bit.
Usually my notes are on Twitter. They're my random thoughts.
I read them and I was wait, what happened to this one again?
If you want my thoughts on Detective Comics, listen to Paul Herman's voicemail.
Oh, geez. That's what's even crazier too, is so we're in a light load compared some of the lightest that we've been since we've been doing
this
the
month?
Monthly wrap-ups.
You thought this month was light? I thought it was a heavy month.
Well, it's because we're so used
I read it all in one day.
Well, there you go. That's it. But it's also we're used to it being lighter after, I always call it as November, maybe 2022 was when we had 30 books.
And was that when Detective was weekly?
No, that was January. I thought that was January of this year when they
That was
did the
rough for
12.
me
I
personally.
bet. Pete was okay. I'll admit you were not frolicking during that time period.
No,
That
and I
was
like
three
Tamaki's
months.
work. I
Uh,
was like,
that was three
as a
months. So
reviewer,
just oh,
I was like, how does
nonstop.
Jeremy Johns just keep reviewing things?
That's wild. But I think we have I don't know. We've got a good batch for this month. I know
Yeah, I
that
do.
there's
I agree with you.
some,
I think we do too.
and I can remember it for the most part, but enough of the tease.
I'll say this before we get really started. The two
Okay.
Kowalski books, as always, they split me right down the middle. I loved one, I hated the other.
I
Two
think I know
Kowalski.
what the second one is.
Yeah, you know what it
So we'll
is.
get there. Okay.
It's vintage
It's pretty
Kowalski.
obvious.
Oh,
Okay. It's very obvious.
Man, it's so tattooed. It's Justin.
All right. Well, let's stop teasing. Let's get into it.
Let's get
Let's
nuts.
talk. Let's yes. Let's talk Batman in December. Now, Pete, I think every single month I started off this way. Now, Pete, der,
Derp
duh,
derp. Sound like a bad South Park
God.
infomercial.
I've got some cred. Batman issue number
You have all the
140,
cred.
the first Tuesday of the month. It continued the Mind Bomb arc. It was part 2 of this, written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Jorge Jimenez, colors by Tomi Mori. Mind Bomb is correct. Overall, let's see. I'm very like middle of the road with this because Zer. I just hate that that's now like, let's not even say Zer. No, let's just call it Zer. Like, yo,
I'm so
Zer.
glad you're on board with me with these Skittles Batman dislike. Like I appreciate it.
It just
Thank you.
annoys me.
It
I
makes me
just
feel
think
like I'm not like a dumbass fan. Like I was, like I don't like everything, guys.
yeah. Well, it's crazy because it makes me think of like, though I wasn't a fan of it, I prefer Morrison's Zernar over this
Interesting.
because
Okay.
this,
So you are a
I
fan of this
think
crap.
the more, no, if I have to choose one, I'd rather go his route.
Mhm.
Because I just think like this gets too muddy and kind of caves in on itself. And so then it's like, okay, just try to enjoy it like for what it is. Don't try to think too deeply in it. And there are a lot of moments that I think like, oh, this is fun. And as we saw in Batman 900, the the big page at the end that had like all the Batman of the multiverses, which like multiverse now is such a like bleh term.
It's been so overexposed the last 3 years.
Too overexposed.
I
So
agree.
that kind of wanes, but like at the heart is a little bit of like a Batman versus Joker story, which is kind of cool. And then mentally is like the Batman and all these other Batmans, which is like, I don't know. So I'm just kind of middle of the road, but then, and I'm not gonna say what it is, but at the end, the final page is like, ah, god damn it. Like, yeah, god damn it.
Did you read?
But
Oh, well,
I wrote
yeah.
I gave it I think I gave it a B on the BOF because
Oh,
I'm
look
trying to
who's
make
being
sure to
generous with their
separate.
grades now.
Well, I try to make sure of like, is it like it's not good or is it just like not my kind of thing? And
Mhm.
just because it's not my kind of thing does not mean that it's bad. So I do think I think like a lot of people probably do enjoy this and think that it is fun. It is a little like, to me, almost a little summer blockbustery of like fun.
A lot
It's
of people
not
do enjoy it.
digging deep and hitting me at my core and stuff. So I don't think that like it's a bad book. I can't kick out my Missouri bias and how I don't really like it. And then him fighting the multiple versions of himself is also just kind of like, I don't know, what are we doing here? It's fine. And that's kind of where I land. So now go ahead. I won't interrupt.
There is something to be said about the deep dive into Batman's psyche that is interesting, but I'm just
Mhm.
over it at this point. I'm at the core of the story, there is the Batman Joker story, and that's kind of what keeps me involved in this. But
Yeah.
like you said, the last page is regurgitated crap, as some would say.
Yeah.
I did like the backup story with Vandal Savage more than I did the primary. I think Jimenez art is beautiful, and
Yes,
he does a
always.
great job of mimicking, especially Frank Miller.
Hmm.
That those pages, those panels of the Dark Knight Returns Batman are very good. But this is a gimmick, and I'm over this gimmick. And
Yep.
I would rather see Batman physically as an individual fight a villain as opposed to fighting himself or in a different timeline. Like again, you mentioned
Yeah.
multiverse being played out. I'm with you on that. Like I just kind of want in continuity Batman stopping a jewel thief. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just
Yeah.
kind of keep it simple, stupid. Like, let's get back to the basics of what Batman is. He's a vigilante, and like I don't want to see Batman fight himself anymore. I'm just like
Yeah.
I'm over this.
Exactly. Yep.
I'm really over this, and wait till we get to detective because that's its own bag of like hey look I'm doing this with his brain too, and it's like I'm like just give me a really good in the moment Batman doing
Yeah.
detective stuff story, like, and the Black Label books have been delivering this. The Legacy books are not delivering, which is the odd part, like I
Yep.
keep hearing online Justin babble about how much he hates reading all these Batman books, but I mean I was like if you're reading the main continuity then yeah you're having a rough time, but everything else outside of that's been fantastic, even the
I'm gonna say
two.
stick around a couple minutes and we'll talk about
Yeah,
some Black Label.
like, but it's the legacy titles have just been abysmal in my opinion.
Yep.
Like this is Batman's better than Detective, but not by much.
I'm yeah. I mean, well, we're gonna get to Detective.
I haven't bought
Uh
Detective in so long. Like I'm not Batman. I drop it, I pick it up. Like it's hot, it's cold. Like I don't know what to do with it at this point.
yeah. Well, review it for BOF.
You no, you do. I'm already reviewing one crappy book.
So yeah, I don't know. Batman 140, uh, to each their own. I'll always read it because it's Batman. Um, I don't love it, don't hate it. I think, like I
Mhm.
said, fine with fantastic art as always.
Yeah, I want Jimenez to really shine. Like I want him to have his three Jokers. Like
Yeah,
it's so rough being such a fantastic. He's probably the best. Honestly, at the time of this recording, he's probably like the hottest, best artist in the game right now. Like he's probably like he's at his peak. He's at the top. Like everyone likes
he's
his
delivering.
style, and he just gets
Yep.
crappy titles.
Yeah. Let's see here. There was some ambition this month. Weekly 4-issue miniseries called Batman Santa Claus Silent Night. It
This
came
is
out
so
each
bad.
Tuesday, 4 parts. We'll talk about all 4 of them here. Pete, did you read all of these?
I did. I
Okay,
did.
you can kick us off. What'd you think?
Overall, like I thought it was just like a fun. It's not really my thing, but because it's seasonal and like they did this interesting stuff with Santa Claus and Krampus. Overall, I thought it's a nice little add on to your holiday rotation of watching and listening to weird twisted things like Batman Returns and Die Hard and stuff like that that we have claimed as now Christmas movies.
Yep.
I think it fits along in with that. I don't think it's necessarily excellent, but it's like it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's it's good. Like I would revisit it. I don't know. I guess it would obviously be a seasonal thing, but they did a lot of things that were not really my cup of tea, but it makes sense within the story. And yeah, like I would give it a shot, especially this time of year, definitely. But yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting for sure. I didn't know where it was gonna go. This is
That's the best part about it, to be honest with you.
a Justice League book starring Batman. I didn't know that it would go that deep into Justice League, but sure did. Bringing the Krampus aspect into it, of course, was like kind of fun too. I think overall it is fun. It's not one that I feel like I'm gonna have to read every single like Christmas season, but I'll revisit it in the future because
Oh, really? I
overall it
thought
was
this
kind
was
of
right up your alley.
no, it dipped in a little too like I don't know. It dipped in a little. I'm more grounded right now with stuff. Like
Oh,
and when it
wow.
starts to
Oh,
dip
wow.
a little out there, like I don't know. Um but it was fun, you know.
Mhm.
Dipping into whatever these almost like vampire creature things are. And then there's another interesting angle in how like kiddying Damien, and
Yeah,
that was so
he's
him
really
first
taken a
off.
change in his characterization recently.
Yeah, and he seemed like they definitely tried to make it like him a little bit more wowed by the thought of Santa Claus.
It's just we. There were some weird parts where he was definitely like, "Santa's not real." Oh my god, it's Santa! Like,
Yeah,
I was like, this is interesting. You guys are a little inconsistent panel to panel here, but what did you think of Krampus
I didn't give
just overall?
well, I didn't give let me give the credits
Okay,
quick. It's written by Jeff Parker, art by Michelle Bandini and Trevor Harsine, and colors by Alex Sinclair.
yeah.
What do I think of who now?
What'd
Krampus?
you think? What's your take? You because you're a Krampus guy. What's your take on Krampus in this? I thought it was pretty good actually. It was one of the better things
Yeah,
I thought.
yeah. And I'm happy with like the substance that they gave of like Santa and Krampus, like their history together and
Yeah,
where things went wrong.
yeah,
Uh
it was cool.
it
The
gave it
buff
some
Santa
weight.
was okay. No, he's not really buff, but he looks more he's more like the Kingpin.
Have you ever read I think it's pronounced Klaus, Klaus by Grant Morrison and Dan Mora?
No.
Okay. So I know that like throwing Morrison's name in there could possibly be like, "Oh, buddy." But it's like a badass military kind of Klaus, but like an origin for Santa Claus.
Hmm.
And this kind of gave me some of those vibes. I haven't read all of that story, but I've read like I don't know, like the first 6 or 7 issues or something of one of the stories. There's like multiple stories. Um, I'd recommend it. It's a blast.
Hmm.
But that's what this kind of gave me vibes of, which is
Okay.
cool. So I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I did it like this probably more than like I'm sounding like I did. I just know up front I'm not gonna go revisit it right away. I'm not thinking maybe next year I'll feel different. I'm like, I want to read that Batman Santa Claus story again. But it was I'm glad that they did it in the sense of a contained story that just came out in December about, involving Christmas and,
Yeah.
I thought
I
like,
thought it was
yeah,
better
cool,
than their
more of
holiday
that.
special.
Yeah, I didn't even read the holiday special.
It
I
was
was
not.
like, I breezed it and I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Holiday special was not good.
Wasn't it like a Might Before Christmas or something?
Oh, that was a
Yeah.
different one, but they did
Oh,
that as
okay.
well. I didn't read. I forgot to read that one. I didn't get
Oh,
skimmed. I
wow.
didn't have time.
You skimped on the imp.
No, I'll get to it. I'll probably read it physically like a real fan, unlike you.
Oh, okay. I'm just holding comics in my hand, but whatever. Says the digital movie buyer. Oh, snap.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was the Batman movie club.
Boom. Boom, Pete. I'm sitting here like holding books in my hand, Pete. How dare you?
I
That's
watch
not
movies in full screen, Lauer, so take that.
yeah, that's true. It's starting to sound like After Dark. I'm sitting here holding it in my hand, Peter. Holzman only fans.
Ooh,
Anyways,
Hosman.
let's go to the next Tuesday, December 12th. We got some goodies here, and then some not so goodies. But let's start with number one, Pete, Batman Gargoyle of Gotham, book 2. I went full pretentious dork and bought the noir edition as well as the regular edition because I was so happy and impressed
Dweeb.
with the noir edition last month. Everything that you were saying about the legacy titles, think the exact opposite for this book. I dig this
Yeah,
book. I think so. Yes, it is new villains created by Raphael Grandpa.
it's better than what other people are doing.
But it's like it's great. Like it's great. It's not like him in a cave and he's having a mental battle with himself playing checkers or something. It's
No, he's
like
actually out in the field.
he's actually doing stuff. He's him being early on. So this is a take. I think as we said, I think when did it launch? The first book came out in September, October. I think it came out in September.
I think so. I think it's like bi-monthly or something.
Okay. He where this is like a kind of like a darker, more a-hole Batman.
Are you getting
His
that vibe, really? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit like how he treats like how he is with Gordon and stuff too, but yet there's
Gordon, I
still
feel, is a little loofy.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Like they're not seasoned.
He's still lieutenant, right?
Yeah.
I think he's lieutenant here still.
But they're
Um
both very young. And Gordon's nose is huge. I'll say this.
yeah,
I'm flipping
I
through
was
the
gonna say
book.
that too. It's funny of like how
It's very Doug. Not Doug from Cleveland, but Doug
You're
the
just like,
cartoon. I don't want
hey, Doug.
Doug.
It's not Doug from
Bingo.
Cleveland. Never. No, that guy's a saint. Uh,
No, not Doug.
I think it's
Cartoon
funny
Doug.
though, of like how some of like the settings and like how Batman can look and stuff like that, and then you do turn a page and you see Gordon, and it's like he looks unique. Like,
The suit has grown on me. The
me too.
suit's very interesting, but it's weird, like panel to panel. Like, it's like the old Paul Herman saying, another name drop. You got to see it in motion. That's true for even like comic books, just to see how an artist draws something panel to panel. Like
Yeah.
I just, it's a little more anime. It's a little more funky, but like I dig it. Like I'm kind of into it. I'm enjoying the freshness of it. You know, I still the bat insignia is still a little weird to me, but
Okay.
I mean overall,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is the type of story that is really up my alley, just for
Yeah.
Batman. You know,
It's
like
because
I'm
I
really
mean,
loving this stuff.
it's evolving in like you're teased at the beginning with something, you're like, huh, that's not the villain from the last book. And then there's an interrogation with the villain from the last book who
Mhm.
it's like, oh, we're not done seeing that one. But then there's
It's all
introducing some
connected.
more. It's all connected. There's a little Silence of the Lambs, I feel, definitely nodding
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
And then especially like at the end and stuff to where it's just like, I don't know, this is a mystery that's getting deeper and deeper. And then there's this great, it's about halfway through. Part of it made me think of like Dark Knight Returns, but it's not, where he's like on top of like a radio tower and that cape is just like
Yep.
covering him and it's in
This
the
is like,
rain. I'm
where's
like,
the
oh
lightning?
man, that is a good image. And then I mean, just like, so Grandpa, the last one, the first image we saw of Batman was him backlit um coming down a hallway, and that was like an awesome image. And now this goes right up next to that, where I'm like, oh, is he gonna have like one awesome like Batman full page for every single book? Because I hope so, because I'm all
Hell
about it.
yeah.
And that image of last book was actually one of the covers for this book. With it was like a foil one or something. I spent the
Ooh,
extra dollar or two and got that
of
because
course
I'm
you
just like,
did.
man, I love this image. But yeah, I just think, I don't know, the book, and it's got like, Bruce Wayne's story underneath as well. It's not just Batman being a detective. It's definitely about Bruce Wayne as well. So I think
I don't know
like
if I said this last month, or last time we did this, but like this feels like a little more like a Pattinson Batman, right? I know that's new,
exactly.
but
Yep.
compared to
I'm with
just
you.
as a person who's rewatched various Batmans over the years, this just feels very new. It feels very similar. I don't know if it's influenced or whatnot, or they like that, or
No, I'm with you.
whatever they want to do. But I'm digging it, and I kind of again Black Label. Black
Yep.
Label needs to be the standard. They need to take these Black Label guys and put them on the legacy titles because they know what they're doing.
Yep.
Sorry, they
This
do.
is this is great. I think this is gonna end up, yeah, this is gonna end up being 4 books. So we're halfway through. I'm really excited about it.
I
I
mean,
like it.
Batman Year One's only what, 4 issues? Like it's been done
Hmm.
before. Not every story needs to be 7 or 8 parts.
Yep. Sticking with Black Label, also that Tuesday, Pete, Batman,
Oh
City
yeah.
of Madness, Book 2 by Christian Ward. You can take this one.
Dude, this one really, I was really impressed with this issue.
Yeah.
I bought the red cover. I thought the red cover was really spectacular that this month. Um, being Batman being tangled by a squid, very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But this book really blew me away. Just the art specifically. Two-Face was very interesting considering what he's been doing in other books. I am floored with this one, and this really doesn't seem like it would usually be my thing.
Hmm.
Just Court of Owls, a little bit. It looks like is just here to stay. And Batman, it reminds me a little bit of Tamaki with oh man, what the hell is that guy's name? Where he had like the predator mouth. It's
Oh
I'm just
gosh,
very
yes.
interested.
Not Parasite.
You know who I'm talking about though.
Yep,
I
I know
forget
who
his
you're
name.
talking about.
He was a new character.
Yep.
Um, but just again, just really drawn in, really captivated. I'm really looking forward to see where this goes, and the artwork has really blown me away. Who drew this? This is written in
Christian
Gerard
Ward.
Ward.
Yep.
So yeah, so double duty, really holding up. It's in that big expanded Black Label format. The Gargoyle
Yeah.
was not. So this is the magazine format, and the artwork really pops when in this format. I think even the
Yep.
funky Batman stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Just this is an interesting story. This is probably the most interested I've been in Court Owls for a very long time.
And good old Pink Flamingo.
Who's been
Right
pop?
front and
Got
center.
3 appearances this month. Pink Flamingo.
What else is he in?
He was in Detective and Catwoman.
Was he a detective? That's how much I remember.
Uh,
Stay
well,
tuned.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm with you. I think Ward he definitely has a unique style. He's also one he's achieved that level as an artist of you see his work and you're like, oh, that's Christian Ward, which for better or worse as an artist, I feel like oh like that's a goal. Um, and I was pretty wowed by the first book, and yeah, this one I was all in on, and
Mhm.
it does go some places which I think is interesting, and I'm curious how it will wrap up because this is supposed to be 3 books. Um, but yeah, like what it does with the villains, what it does with like Gotham under what is I didn't watch all of Stranger Things. Is it the Upside Down? I think
Yes,
it's almost
yes.
like Gotham the Upside Down.
That's
In
a good
bringing
take. I like
in
that take.
The Flamingo was great, but then also like the how Arnold Wesker and Scarface, it's acting different, and it's like, what's going on here? Why are you acting different? Things you said they did with Clayface, and yeah, like this. I mean, it's like in the kind of doom that came to Gotham. Like, is it
Hmm.
Cthulhu or whatever? There's almost like that. I don't know. There's a lot of different elements, and then basically how this escaped Batman and that the Court
Yeah.
of Owls has gotten a Robin. And it's
Hmm.
like, oh, okay, that's how they're continuing a story with this kid that was introduced in the first book. So it's building on itself. It's has a direction. It's moving constantly. And that's just like, I don't know, that's intriguing storytelling. It's compelling storytelling. It's got me hooked to where I'm all in. I really want to see how this wraps up. It's great.
This is the perfect example of a story that I shouldn't like that I do. Like it's a little more fantastical. Again, it's with a villain that I think is overused, but I'm kind of drawn into it. It's just it's new. It's just
Yeah.
you know
Doing something different with it.
because it's just like, I mean, I feel like Court of Owls is just always around, and I
Yeah.
just like I know that's kind of like what they're supposed
They
to be
watch
doing,
you
but
all the
like
time, Pete.
yeah, I know I get that, but it's like I'm kind of tired of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. 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 Yep.
that's just me.
Um, no, I'm with you. So when I knew that they were going to be in the story too, I was like,
Like there's more Court of Owls titles
but
nowadays than the Joker or like the Riddler, right? Like it's like, why are they the one villain? Like,
I don't know.
give me Scarecrow back. Like I know you're down for Scarecrow, Lauer.
But it's not like the story is Batman and Court of Owls.
No,
Period. It's which I think makes it okay. I'm more
I
open.
think that's where it catches me too. It's not all about them, but they're part of the story.
Let's see. Let's move on. Let's just do like let's just get it over with. Both at once. Um, Detective Comics 1079 and 1080 both came out this month. Outlaw Part 4 and 5, written by Ram V, art by Jason Sean Alexander with Liam Sharp, Dave Stewart on colors.
Mhm.
Pete, have at it.
I mean, this thing just continues to just really just be lackluster. 1079 is worse than 1080. I don't know what's the whole death of Batman didn't move me. I'm like it's a gimmick that I've seen too many times. It's just weird. Batman dies. Like I don't feel anything. Like, oh, here we go again. Batman's dead. Catwoman and Gordon have been the stars of this whole thing. 1080 was cool because like Two Face goes off on this rant. He made his grand return and he makes fun of the Wolfman thing. And I'm like, oh man, this is great. V's been reading my tweets. He knows what I'm doing. And then he like twists. And he's like, ah, sucker, gotcha. And I'm like, oh
Gotcha,
man, he
Pete.
tricked me. Yeah, like and it then turns into the rest of a suck fest. It's just like it's such a bummer. Detective Comics is just so dull and stupid and pointless. For every good thing he does, he's just it's bad. I'm sorry. I don't want to trash the book. It's any more than it is. I just don't enjoy it. Jason Sean Alexander draws the hell out of it. I mean, he's fantastic. He had a co-artist this last issue for 1080, Mike Perkins. But yeah, like and Daniel Waters' backup story did nothing for me. I don't even remember what it was for 1079. For 1080, it was this Damien thing, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I really just am just completely disappointed with Detective Comics quality lately.
I think Paul Herman
It's
trolls you and
insane.
me. I think he's just trolling us.
I don't, I see people rave about this like this is the greatest detective thing. I'm sorry, I'm really
I
missing
don't
it.
get it.
Yeah,
I'm missing something, and that's okay. To each their own. A highlight for me of the two issues was like the quick, basically just like a page of like Talia's story and how she took on everybody, and she was on a ship, and the ship went down, but she found a way to survive. I thought that was cool.
yeah.
That's about it. I didn't
The,
enjoy much. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm scrolling
the
through now, and I
chase
see
into
little
like the dock
flamingo.
scene was cool, but outside of that, yeah, Ben Pink Flamingo shows up and
Oh, and isn't it Doctor Hurt? Is that Doctor
yeah,
Hurt in there at the end?
Doctor Hurt, Bart
Okay, yeah.
Rados. It's
Oh,
like
great.
every. I was like, oh, this is just as good as Batman Skittles and bullshit. Like
This is
it's just as
it's a
stupid.
it's the mixed Batman drink that Pete and I, with every ingredient that Pete and I do not like.
Yeah, it's got like
Kind
coconut
of.
water and
Goodness
seed
gracious.
oils,
It's gosh. But yeah,
banana
I don't
juice.
know. I've said I don't know the past three times we've talked about all this stuff, and I'm just like, I don't want to be a broken record. Nobody wants to listen to just me dog on something. Not for me, not enjoying it. That continues. I try
It
to
just
find
sucks having to
positives.
write like 3 paragraphs twice a month on this. It's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, because clearly there are people who like it.
yeah, and I just
Great.
don't.
Clearly Ron V is a good writer. Great. This story's not for me. I don't really enjoy it. I think I saw
Ugh.
through Twitter/X, um, his final issue is 1089. So this has been a whole story that he's wanted to like.
Okay,
It
so
has an
89.
endpoint.
That's how many more months is that? 2 months? 3 months?
It depends on if they do multiple times a month or
I
just
thought they still
solo.
are. Okay,
I don't know.
whatever.
I don't know.
I'd rather
I
get this done
totally
half as fast and wait 9 months to get through this crap
I
personally.
totally advocate though that he's a writer that came on, he has a story, he gets to tell his story beginning, middle, end. Like
Yeah, that's
it's not
fine.
for me, but hey, he had a vision, and though it's
Especially if
not,
it's selling. If it's making money, then don't listen to
yeah,
me.
and he is able to tell the story he wants to tell. So good. And he has an end point, so he's working toward it having a conclusion. Great. The story itself, though, I just don't like. Period. What you said about the Batman thing, that's what I was going to chime in on, and then I'll shut up and we can move on. Is oh, Batman's dead, okay, but then I feel like, and I can't remember, there was something else on here like in this story that was a hey, let's tell you, not show you, and it was just like, oh yeah, well, Batman's not really dead because what we actually did, I gave
No.
him some stuff and it
Tell you
lowered
to
his
do.
heart rate, so it seemed like he was dead, and he's not dead, and I got him. All right, moving on. It's like that's
No.
not very compelling to me. Like, yeah. Like,
And
eh.
look, I know I just bought Gotham Knights. I'm playing it for the first time, and guess what? Batman's dead there. So I'm like, oh god, this trope is everywhere.
If he's not dead, he's fighting himself in his brain. Great.
This is the yeah. Like I'd rather watch him fight the pink flamingo.
Oh gosh. So yeah, there you go. Detective 1079 1080. Have fun, Paul Herman. This month, Batman and Robin, #4, continuing this new title. Oh wait, did I? Yeah, I
Yeah,
jumped to the wrong one. Yeah, Batman and Robin #4. No, I was
yeah.
looking at another spot. Joshua
Pay attention,
Williamson,
Lauer.
Simone DeMeo. Uh, I think you like this book more than I do. I
Yeah,
think
man,
I
I'm
think
loving this.
I think the coloring on this one is less distracting. I think I'm trying to skim to the page to see who did coloring. Jeremy Cox
Jeremy
and
Cox.
Romulo Fajardo Jr.
Yeah,
and
good old
Michael
Romulo.
Mike Mikel Janine Mikel J also did some of the art with Simone DeMeo, I think with the flashbacks. I'll
Mhm.
say that the backstory with Damien's trainer I thought was good. I thought that was a pretty cool start to the story. Let's see. I'm trying to find her name. I can't remember it.
I think it's Mikhail Yanin.
Mikhail Yanin.
Yeah,
I know Tom King, shameless plug, beginning of this year when I had him on, he pronounced his name for me, and I, of course, forgot. Mistress
who? Tom
Harsh.
King? You
Yeah.
can't pronounce Tom King?
No. Kowalski. Uh,
Kowalski.
Mistress Harsh was his trainer. So that's Shush. That's Damien's principal. I don't like I don't know. There's character
But
elements
it's
of this that
deception. There's no way it's her. There's no way it's her. I don't think so.
there's character beats with this that I don't like, but I do like the Mistress Harsh is apparently the principal. and what that's gonna do. I'm not
Mhm.
interested in following a Damian story, and Damian's the star.
Uh,
Bring
uh,
Batman in for some more balance, and I'm okay with it. But actually, this issue I think I liked more than the previous three.
Dude, look at this splash page of Batman and Robin in the sky. This book is a gem. You all should be
Game
loving
on,
this.
son. Smiley
Oh,
face. It's a
oh, come on. Like,
that's
it's okay.
hokey.
Oh,
That's
stop
hokey.
it. Batman's been hokey before.
Okay, fine,
I love the
sure.
tone of the book. I like where Williamson's going. I like that Robin is a lot more involved. I dig the school stuff. It honestly, this is a different book than everything else being published by Batman, which it's either crap or it's like solo young and like let's say mythical. This is cool. If I was bad, I don't know who I forget who the White Rabbit is. Like I mean I get her confused a lot with what's her called with in the Marvel universe. There's like another chick who dresses up like a rabbit.
Oh,
Um,
I don't know.
you know,
Squirrel Girl.
I know you don't know Geoforce, Squirrel Girl, but like
G-Force hit
I'm
movie
just oh
2008.
Jesus. Anyway, I'm having fun with this. I love Batman and Robin titles. You know I'm a sucker for Robin, and I don't know I like the end page where Damien's like, you know what? Maybe I'll stick around and check things out at the
I'm
school,
gonna try and
Mr.
get it in with
Wayne.
the principal.
Which I'm like, why not? Jesus, Dubs. I don't know. I'm having fun with it. I'm kind of suspending a little bit of belief, and it's a little hokey, and it's at some points it feels very 70s, and some points it feels very 2000s, and I like the style of art, and I like the color. I kind of miss the more outlandish takes they did the first three issues, but I don't know, man. I'm having a blast with Batman and Robin, to be honest with you. This book is
Good.
so much fun to read.
You're not alone. You are not alone.
God, General Zod.
Zod. Good old Zod.
That's what he calls him when she's up changing in front of on the top of the building. He's like General Zod. She's like Zod,
Ergo, General
Zod,
Zod. Zod, kneel before me.
kneel before Zod. I
So,
would pay Terrence Stamp to say that on Cameo.
oh, okay. There you go. Let's get the funds going.
Kneel before Zod. That's kind of funny.
Before, also that Tuesday, Peter dipping
Wow.
into the DC vaults,
Oh wow.
re-releasing Batman number 428. Except Robin Lives.
Dun
Written by
dun
Jim Starlin,
dun.
penciled by Jim Aparo, inks Mike DiCarlo.
A brand
This was
new
interesting.
Jim Aparo book. It's a
This was
beauty.
interesting because I was really wondering because the cell was like, hey, see how the other issue, yada yada. I skimmed it quick. We saw the image that was released back in like what 2006, I think, that
Mhm.
showed that he's alive, thank God. And I was like, okay, well, we already saw that. And then I flipped through a little bit more, and I was like, all this looks the same. All this looks the same.
It is very
All
much
this
the
looks the
same.
same. Oh, okay. Here's a page that's got Jason in a hospital bed, and Bruce is there. Okay, that's different.
Mhm.
But then everything else seemed the same. But then I read
Mhm.
through, and I was actually surprised and impressed of the all of the dialogue, like not all their dialogue, but the text was just different. So the funeral
Yeah.
was for Jason's mom. It
Mhm.
wasn't Jason's funeral, stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay. So this was,
Reshoots.
yeah, exactly. I did not pick this up physically because I haven't been in the comic shop since, but I'm definitely going to.
Ew.
I think you did, right?
Yes, I did. I
You
have it
did.
right
Okay,
in
and
my
what'd you think?
hand. I loved it. I loved it. I noticed the subtle differences that you did that, it's mostly the same book with a couple of pages and some dialogue in certain spots. Um, but it's just kind of cool to know that both of these books were on the editor's table and they were
Yeah,
just waiting to, have it's nice having a different take. This is Elseworlds I kind of enjoy
yeah,
in a time where it's overplayed, as we've been saying earlier in the show. Yeah, always the big what if, I know this is a Marvel, but what would have been with Jason Todd if he had lived? And I'm happy to have it. Like I
yeah,
figured not much would change. Superman still rolls with the punch and prevents Batman from breaking every bone in his arm. But um, it's fun. It's cool. I probably would have voted to kill Jason myself. I really think that, and I'm finally. I love what they did. I'm glad they finally did this. These I love reprints, and this isn't even a reprint. Like I said, it's a brand new Jim Aparo issue that I've never held in my hand, and he's one of the founding fathers of Batman and the modern day Batman, and
Yeah.
it's just a real treat to get another piece of his work in my hands because
Yep.
it's
It's one of the goats.
it's not coming out anymore.
Some may even say the goat, but I think it's cool. I like
It's
the
up there.
reprint stuff too because they also keep all the other ads and stuff intact, and I love that stuff.
It's
But
fun to go back, and I think it's a great way for fans to get these things on the cheap. Even
yep,
like they've been reprinting Batman Year One. And I know they do like 3 of the 4 issues because they want you to go out and buy the trade. But at some point they'll reprint Batman Year One, issue 1, and you'll get it. Just be patient if you're not trying to spend an arm and a leg. But I think it's great.
yeah, I think it was fun. I think it was a good idea for them to do that. And I'd recommend whoever to check it out because I mean it's cool. It's a piece of history.
Mhm.
Um, Finally, that month we don't have to go into discussion on this, but I just wanted to mention it out. There's Batman and Joker, the Deadly Duo, Unplugged #1, Mark Silvestri, basically compiling the first 2 issues of that series into one issue that's his pencils. So if anybody's interested in that, or my guess, you can wait
It
next year
looked even more
sometime.
Jim Lee,
It
black
did.
and
I
white.
agree.
Than I was like, wow, this feels like you could tell Lee's an inspiration
Yep.
for Silvestri, but like I was like, wow, he can almost go toe to toe with
Yep.
Lee. He's very talented.
Yeah. I think you can wait probably back end of next year. There's going to be, an unplugged hardcover collection or something. The
MTV
book
Unplugged?
overall, yes, MTV Unplugged. Pete and I talked about it like when each issue was released this year and stuff, and we were fans. It was a good book. Pencils are also just depends on what do you want to look at in a comic book. Do you like this kind of stuff? Because if so, then you'd be really impressed because there's a lot of
Yeah,
lines to
it's
look
cool.
at.
It's cool. It gives me vibes of like a sketchbook.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I think that does it. That was a big Tuesday,
That was a
the
big Tuesday.
12th.
The big old Triple Tuesday, they
Oh,
call it.
oh boy.
Oh boy.
Following one. December.
Kowalski.
There you go. Speaking of Kowalski,
There we go.
December 19th, there's a Kowalski book that came out.
The
Batman
greatest Kowalski
Superman
book of all time.
World's Finest #22. I don't think he's reading it. And we just told him the other day. You need to
This is
hop on
Toy
this.
Chest Batman at its finest. If he's not reading this, he's missing out. Like, let's be
This
honest.
is what he wants. This I don't know. I'm having a blast. Good old
Yeah.
Gog. Am I right? Good old Gog.
Getting loud, but no difference between Gog and Magog. It's only taken him 30 years.
Good old Gog. But I think this story is a blast. The
Yeah.
Mark
Wade's a
Wade, Dan
magician.
Mora,
Mhm.
a great combination, both of them for this book. And I want to also color out colors. Tamara Bond villain. I always say Bond villain. I love it. What a great last name. All the elements come together in this story. So this is part 3 of Heir to the Kingdom.
Mhm.
This one's called The Gospel of Gag.
Gag.
But this, I don't know. This is a blast. I think Garrett needs to track this down and read these too because
It's funny
have
because
just as much fun.
we've been bashing the multiverse. This is a great multiverse story.
It's
Great.
done right.
Yeah, you new gods, you got heroes, you've got sidekicks, you've got new heroes in a new world. Heroes interacting with themselves, not fighting themselves, like in their minds at least. Wade is vintage right here.
He's cooking.
And teaming him up with Mora it just makes this book even more special. Like this is what Mr. Jimenez needs. He needs something like this.
He needs Mark Wade.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not dumping on Chip Zdarsky. I'm just saying like he needs a story like this because
Yeah.
also
because
I know
Mora's
that
been killing it with the old one.
I know that you loved it way out like page like what 22, 23. Your boy Uxas is taking on everybody.
Oh, dude. I mean, as I say, you got new gods, you got new villains, you got old villains, you got heroes. I complain about heroes fighting themselves, but this one it's quality storytelling will triumph any stupid negative thing you could possibly think of, and that's what Mark Wade's doing.
Yeah.
I've said this before on the show. Going back from the first arc to this arc, mind-blowing differences. I was really concerned that this was just going to be typical toy chess. Let's play some Super DC Smash Bros. And it's really evolved into something else. And Wade is just really on fire right now.
I think because he's gotten us to the point of the Batman and Superman that we know from Kingdom Come. Like we've gotten to that point too.
Mhm.
It was like building toward that. Like Batman, well, the I'll just say the world's finest Batman and Superman, they are like at the beginning entering this they're seen as the villains, and we know obviously they're not the villains, and um the Batman and Superman of Kingdom Come are kind of being dicks to him. But then you realize through this that Kingdom Come
It's all
Batman,
Magog.
he's been detectiving this whole time, and he's
Yeah.
starting to put pieces together. And so I'm like, oh, awesome! Like a good.
I've really turned around on this Kingdom Come soon. I used to not like it, but then this McFarlane figure came out, and then this story came out, and I'm like, this thing looks better than I thought it did.
Leave it to old Toddy boy.
You know,
Works
it
his
just
magic on Pete. He really does. He's got
it's
your wallet.
it's just so funny. Like I was like, did somebody do Alex Ross better than Alex Ross? Like why? I'm like, I gotta read Kingdom Come again because like I remember not enjoying that suit when I first originally saw it. So
I'm with you. When I first saw that suit, I wasn't, and then I read the story, got context and stuff, and I became more of a fan. But yeah, this world's finest arc, Heir to the Kingdom, like this is great. This is good
Eric
stuff.
to the Kingdom,
I'm a big
Eric
fan.
Holden?
Heir to the
King of,
Kingdom. Yes.
King of Long Island, King of Atlantis.
Atlantis. Yes. There
You
you go.
think Atlantis is really just? You think Long Island is just the very top of Atlantis, like the rest of this?
Absolutely.
You know,
Yep.
that's why that
Yep.
makes sense. That's why Eric's king.
Yep.
I think.
He's
Wow.
the king. He
Call
he
me
sits on
Dr.
the throne.
Shin.
He
Call me
sits on the
Dr. Shin.
throne. Oh, let's see. World's finest. There you go. Kowalski, get on it. I think, Pete, the other Kowalski book you're talking about is Batman Offworld #2. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is a steaming pile of dung.
I started reading it, and I'm like, I did tell Pete last month, I don't know that I'll continue this. Definitely depends on my mood. Well, my mood was not right for this, so I started, and I'm like, I'm just tapping out. Not for me.
Oh, dude, I made it all the way to the end, and I was like, this is
Not for you.
trash.
You don't like
I'm
it.
sorry.
Okay.
Like this is. I don't know what Detective Comics is better than this. This is the worst Batman.
Whoa.
This is the worst Batman title being published right now. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. That's that. There's
This
big
isn't,
words,
and
so.
it's not a Black Label book, is it? I don't know. I don't know.
No. Jason Aaron, Doug Doug M. Good old
And
Doug M.
yeah, Doug's
Not
artwork
Cleveland Doug.
no, not a Cleveland Doug, but usually Monkey. I think that's Doug. Let's say Doug's. Usually Doug's art is absolutely fantastic and breathtaking. He's one of the top like 10 artists in the game. I did not.
I like his
enjoy it.
art.
I did
I like
not
his
think
Batman
was
in
very
this and
good.
stuff too. I just think like the story is
I
just
didn't
it's
enjoy it.
really out there that I don't really like it.
Yeah, you know,
I'm trying to think the colors, but I'm sure it has its fan, and I'll say that this is definitely a Batman book that is not being published right now, that is not being made right now. Inks by Jamie Mendoza. There we go. That there's probably some people that like, I don't know, Justin Kowalski probably read this and be like, oh man, that was a blast. It was Batman in space.
I don't know if Justin would like this. I'm very curious. It's right up his alley. You know, he loves Batman in space, so I'm very curious to see if he would dig this because I just think it's really bad. I think it's really bad, dude.
Not for me.
No.
Tapping out. Let's move right along to so I mean, each week we already mentioned at the top was Batman Santa Claus issue. So that came out that week as well. The 26th, the last Tuesday of December. Batman, the Brave and the Bold, #8. Not the Tom King and Mitch Garrett story. That's actually coming next month, finally. The finale to that one. Pete's favorite story.
Sucking you dry, Javi.
This one though does have the finale to Pygmalion, Part 3.
Which is okay.
I'm trying to pull it up. I thought it was good.
I actually
liked it.
liked the Aquaman story the most out of this book.
Oh, the Aquaman. Guillem March did the story art and letters.
Gilliam.
Aris Crianto did the colors. And yeah, I thought this Pygmalion, when it did the twist or revelation, if you will, last month, that was a story saver for me. To realize like, oh no, this is just some other guy that thinks he is Batman and has troubles. It's not Batman going through the stuff that we've already seen a bunch of times. Little Arnold Wesker and Scarface in this again. Getting some good times.
The black and white story was good too, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, black and white story was good.
Still not
I don't
enough
know, the Batman stuff in this was good. And I don't know. I thought Pygmalion I think that was a good story overall. And I think it characterized the real Batman pretty damn well. Um, oh wait, the black and white story I thought was just okay. I'd have Batman versus almost tech robots ish angle to it and stuff. I was like, thought the art was fantastic, but
Yeah.
overall,
I mean, for the couple pages it was there, it was fine.
By John Higgins,
Good old
Angels in
Higgy.
the Architecture. So yeah, go ahead. Now you can have it. I'll stop interrupting.
No, I'm just with you. I just again, like it's just I don't know. It's just a little too much for my take. You're gonna have a Batman book, and the best story out of it was Aquaman. So I'm just like, I'm ready to move on.
How about that?
Yeah, so
Batman
that's
book. Aquaman was the best. Here we go.
Aquaman. Oh yeah, swimming around with fishes. Yeah, Aquaman. Yeah.
All right, baby. Let's see. Now, Pete, let's hop into your favorite segment of the Batman Book Club every single month.
Hooks and friends.
Close.
Batman!
Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, #3.
Dude, this
summer
thing's
blockbuster.
awesome.
This is fun.
It's awesome.
Not much Batman in this issue, but almost last month was almost all Batman because it took place in Gotham City. But you had more
Flash
fights.
this issue.
Hey, Pete. Spoiler alert, everybody. Superman's dead.
And his
No
Atom
way.
Smasher. He had a cameo. First time since I saw him since Black Adam.
It's Black Adam.
So, a speechless cameo. Godzilla bit him in the neck and he died. I felt more upset about Atom Smasher dying because like he's gonna be dead. Like he's dead. Superman will come back at some point and save us. But Atom Smasher. But I've had fun with this. I enjoy it.
Yep. Big monsters, Justice League taking it on. I think it's fun. Then also this month, buddy. Penguin #5.
This was interesting. This was an issue. Black Spider was involved in this. We didn't see too much Penguin. I thought it moves the story along. I thought it was fascinating. It really was. I don't want to spoil too much, but it was like I didn't expect this type of an issue after what we got the previous couple.
Yeah, it's another assembly, basically, and I'm really curious how many issues this is gonna be.
But I'm wondering what's his angle. There's an angle here, and I can't figure it out.
Tom King had said that this was going to be ongoing. So I'm really curious because he's really taken his time like assembling, basically it's almost like all 5 issues have been assembling in which he says at the end of this book, basically he's got his crew together. And so now it's like, okay, so now we're going to be up and running, but in no moment have I not enjoyed the assembling. I really, really like this issue too. It's giving some good character background and giving some depth to him to carry on to probably where there's going to be some action and stuff going down upcoming, and it's going to carry more weight because we've had our story beats with all these characters. I'm just curious, kind of what you said, like, what's your angle? But
I'm
I
fascinated
dig it.
to find out what that angle is because Oswald's up to something.
Yeah.
He's just doing the same thing he did last time. Like, there's more to it. There's more than meets the eye.
Finally,
finally
talking about the twins. They brought them back after their brief introduction in what, Batman? I don't know, 130 something that Zdarsky touched on really quick, I think. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm digging Penguin.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What else you got? What else you got for Batman?
I thought Nightwing consistently okay. Just not blown away by it. Nightwing 109. All right. Just it's weird. Just
still the pirate story.
Yeah, still going along with that. It seems to be moving along. So whatever. Catwoman has been very interesting. She's on tour right now, like doing things that Valmont would have liked to do.
R&B,
Valmont.
Rap music, rock music. Oh,
yeah, exactly. She's dealing with the pink flamingo. She's wearing her purple suit from the 90s. So it's cool to see her out of Gotham and doing things. And Poison Ivy 17. You've got Killer Croc, you've got Solomon Grundy, and you got Ivy teaming up by the end of the issue. Ivy still dealing with the spores and everything. And G. Willow Wilson just really kind of going along, just continuing this Ivy journey. It was supposed to end, I think, like 7 issues ago, and they've extended it. So
Yeah.
she's got fresh ideas, and it's cool to see Ivy kind of on her own, doing her own thing. Usually, lately, she's been teamed up with Harley a lot, and she hasn't been really independent. But this has been refreshing. Ivy dealing with, just ideas, ramifications of what went wrong with her plans and such and such. Jason Woodrue really dipping into the green and stuff. So I'm fascinated with this Ivy story. It takes a lot of twists and turns, and sometimes it doesn't go the way you would think. And I'm definitely not the target audience, but I'm having fun reading it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Is that it?
that's it.
Did you drop the Harley Quinn book?
I did. I have dropped Harley Quinn. I just didn't read it. I didn't have
You
time.
just didn't read it on.
I read most of this last night.
Not putting you on the
Uh,
spot. It's just showing up like, that thing's dropped because Pete, you've been a champion of that book
for years.
a long, yeah. I think since
Yeah,
we
even my
started doing
shop was
wrap-ups.
like, my comic shop was like, "You stop reading Harley." I was like, "Yes, I did."
Are you
It's like,
okay,
why?
Pete?
It's not good anymore.
Is this your cry for help?
No, this is why I started reading like I don't know, like I picked up it's like I'll save money, I'll drop Harley Quinn. Like, nah, they'll pick up like Incredible Hulk. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, you'll still get my money. You still got
Yeah.
me.
It's just going to a different publisher now.
Oh, Pete, what was your favorite Bat book of the month?
Yeah, City of Madness really sticks out. City of Madness really sticks out to me. I'm just
Excellent.
fascinated, really interested with the story. It's not my thing, so maybe that's probably why it's drawn me in, keeping an open eye. World's
It had to do
Finest
more
is
to win you over if it's not your thing, and apparently it did.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, that's why I'm really keeping an eye on it. I'm really enjoying it. World's Finest might be the best book this month, but for me, my favorite was City of Madness,
yeah, nice.
especially in that format. I've really grown to love that format.
Yeah, I love that magazine format.
I'm a
Love
big
it.
fan of it. I've really grown to really enjoy reading it.
Mine is another Black Label book. My favorite issue, Gargoyle Gotham, book 2. This
Mhm.
is this is right up my alley. So, I mean, I'm almost like, I'm an easy lay for it. But if it botches it, I'll recognize and be like, yeah, this like almost higher standards. If it's like, oh,
It
this is my
feels
thing,
very
you've
Tomlin
got to do it. But
Gargoyle.
yeah, yeah, a little, yeah. It's
I
its
wonder.
own.
I wonder if they know each other, or I wonder if they travel in the same circles or whatnot, because
They
they
frolic together.
hang out, drink beer, that stuff, cool stuff. Not whatever the hell you do. I don't know what you do, but I want no part of it.
Okay,
Yeah, but it feels Tomlin to me. It does. It gives me that kind of. That's why
nice.
I'm really invested in that stuff right now, obviously because of Reeves and what they're doing, and the Imposter book, which I absolutely love and adore and reread like it's Long Halloween, Lauer style.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just that
I
book's
meant to
special.
mention I'm looking at it right here, but I meant to mention that I don't know if six, I can't remember the artist's name
6 is
on,
good.
yeah, six is good. Penguin number 5, the artist it's done, I think these first 5 issues. I think he's doing issue 6, but the artist of the Riddler year 1, Stevan Subic, Subic.
I thought it was Subic, but yeah, go for it.
Subic, okay. He has mentioned that he is going to be doing an arc on the Penguin book. So I don't know if that'll start in like
Oh,
book 6 or 7.
ooh,
I don't know. So keep an eye out for that.
oh,
Very interesting.
okay, yeah,
Pete and I
that's
were big
interesting
fans
art.
of Riddler Year 1.
Hmm.
As was I feel like everybody was a big fan of that, which awesome.
Yeah,
I have another
more
question
hype for
for
the
you, Pete.
Batman. Yes,
Yep,
babe.
another question for you concerning 2023. Asked this question on the Twitter, and I kind of showed my hand. But like, what was your favorite bat, bat book, anything of this year? And that could be a brand new issue, one specific issue, a collected edition, a
I
re-release
can't
of
do that.
something. You
I
can't do
just
any of
can't.
that,
I
Pete.
can't think of it.
Absolute 3 Jokers came out this year.
Yeah, I don't even remember that coming out this year. Like I have no.
Batman TMNT Omnibus came out this year.
Yeah, my concept of time is shot.
Okay.
I just
So
don't
you heard it
remember
here
what.
first. Pete said Batman TMNT Omnibus. That was his favorite Batman kind of release this year. Got it.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
that
out of the two, you told me yes.
I put the
Sure.
I put those both up on Twitter as my answer because they were both like neck and neck. I think
Mm.
the Batman TMNT book gets an edge for me. Has an awesome collection, tons of extras, which are great. some new to this release that weren't in previous releases of things, and then the 3 books collected in one. Great story, great stuff.
Trifecta.
You should get it for your brother next Christmas.
You just want it for yourself.
I have it. Come on.
You just want another copy.
Come on.
You want a reader's copy.
Come on. Oh yeah, I want another copy. That sounds good. Okay.
6 is good.
6 is good. Always. Thanks as always for coming back onto the Batman Book Club for another wrap-up episode. You're doing the work. Pete does the work. Nobody does the work like Pete.
That's damn straight.
Okay. He does the work.
Yeah,
why don't you go ahead and plug away anything and everything?
Social media at Pete Illustrated. I podcast outside of the Batman Book Club. I do Straight Outta Gotham podcasts at straight_O_G on both Instagram and Twitter. There's a Facebook group and a Facebook fan page. Consider joining both. I have another Spider-Man podcast, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition. That's at Spidey Coalition on Twitter. Check that out. BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube, Batman on Film podcast. I'm over there, so check out Batman on Film. And I've got reviews of Detective Comics and Aquaman review show. And I think I did an Aquaman review show. I don't even remember, dude. Oh man, I was sick this week. I don't think we did an Aquaman review show. I
was gonna say, I don't think you did.
Straight Outta Gotham. All right, so that's it. We got to get a BOF Aquaman review show. That's my next project.
Aquaman.
Oh yeah, swimming around with fish and stuff. But yeah, so I got to do that. Thanks for reminding me about that, Lau. I got to get that in.
Hey, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
But apparently someone's got to watch it though. Apparently I'm the only one who watched Aquaman, so I got to find somebody else. No one else went to go see it. I loved it, by the way. So if that's an endorsement, go see Aquaman. It was a blast. Laura, take it away.
All right, I'll take it away. You can follow the Batman Book Club on Twitter /X at the Batman BC, as well as Instagram at the Batman BC for latest episode drops, upcoming episodes, and sometimes even some giveaways. Pete and I, in 2024, we have a goal. We're heading to No Man's Land on the YouTube channel. It's going to happen. So
we want to do it.
Yeah, we do. Time is a son of a bitch. The YouTube channel, though, Batman Book Club, subscribe there. You'll get those. Pete and I did an 8-part visit of the Road to No Man's Land omnibus. That's all up there, video, so you can see our faces as we laugh and reminisce of all things Batman. If you want to support the show, there's a variety of ways you can do that. Like I said at the top of the show, patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Join the others who have been very, very nice and pitched in, including, yet again, the newest patron, Mark Magaha.
Thanks, Mark.
Head there. Yes, I very much appreciated. Also, tpublic.com, type in TBBC for the Batman Book Club. But also, if you want to support the show and don't want to spend any money at all, it's 100% A-OK. Easiest, quickest, most impactful thing you can do is click in the description of this episode, rate and review, wherever you listen to this, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Google Play, whatever. Click the rate and review. Just rate and review the show, because the more reviews the show gets, the more it helps spread the word. And as we all know, that word is panic. So, Peter, I'll tell you this anyways, like off mic, but Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year, Laura.
May 2024 bless us both with so many Batman goodies.
I hope so, because I'm so worried about Detective Comics.
But it's also the year of the Penguin.
That is true. There's enough to distract me.
It's a gift for you. Yes. And to everyone else, Happy New Year. And also, until the next episode, read my Batman comics.